All right, so hello, welcome to class Wednesday the 31st. So, a few things to address, a few questions I've seen. The first one is about the NIMSY sessions. So, again, if you attended the first NIMSY session, you have all the hours required. They're requiring you to get 4 hours to get your test paid for. So, if you're in multiple AP science classes, you just need 4 hours across your science classes. Um, so if you didn't go to the first NIMSY session, you need to go to these sessions. You have to attend 4 of them. How I'm going to accept proof that you went to a NIMSY session. You'll go, you sign up. I think you need to sign up 48 hours in advance. They'll send you a link. You'll go to the link. You'll do the NIMSY session. I want you to take 3 screenshots of the NIMSY session stream as you go through it. I want you to turn in at least half a page of notes. And then any work that you do in there, like any problems they work through or anything, then I want you to work through the problems also. Take a picture of those, email them to me. In your email, I want you to put in the title, so say the title of the email, you're going to put your name. So I don't really care first, last, first. I would just write Alex Bevely, and then whatever NIMSY session it was. So 2D kinematics, NIMSY. That should be fine. And then in your actual email itself, I need to know, are you doing this session for bonus points? Or are you doing it to get credit? So I need you to either write, this is for NIMSY hours, or is it for bonus? So those are the 2 things that you can do. Yeah, if you go to a chemistry NIMSY, it does count for your science hours. Yeah, I'm not planning on making NIMSY a requirement just because of how much time we're kind of spending in class and a lot of things like that. But I would suggest going to some of the science NIMSYs and at least giving it a shot and seeing what's happening. Uh, the chemistry NIMSY won't count as a bonus for me. But yeah, if you complete all your science hours through say chemistry, and then your science hours are finished, then you can still do the physics NIMSY session as a bonus. So if you've already gotten all your science hours done, any hours you do for physics after that will give you some bonus points. And it'll probably just be a few points here and there on the test. So when you sign up, yeah, you just put other for school and teacher. If you can't find the school or teacher, yeah, you just put other. And you need to sign up like 48 hours in advance. And for whatever reason, they have limited class sizes. So that would be a good thing to sign up for if you're trying to go through these. And then I would obviously kind of pick wisely. Choose the ones that you feel the least comfortable about, as opposed to the ones you feel most comfortable about. Any other quick questions about NIMSY? Why haven't got it? So apparently some people have been saying a really long delay. So I think the system is really new and overwhelmed. So I don't know. I think it might be just a delay, but yeah, I don't know. Do we have school? No, we don't. So yeah, next Friday is holiday, I think. So yeah, I'm not planning on streaming or doing anything because I also want the break. So yeah, I think that's next Friday, right? And then I don't know about grades. That's the other question I get a lot. Your grades, apparently, the district is having a meeting next Tuesday evening, and that's when we'll figure out about grade blocks and things like that. Uh, just choose one to register. Yeah, you just choose one, and again, I would choose the ones that you feel least comfortable about. Do we use our name, or can we use someone for the NIMSY session? What do you mean use someone else's name? Oh, for the test? No, you have to use your name. So if there's no more NIMSY questions, then yeah, let's look at your test. So the test might look a little bit confusing. I was trying to randomize it a bit. So yeah, starting off here. So obviously you have to show your work to get credit. I do want your answers in terms of decimals. So pull out numbers out front. Do I need to answer the test and complete answer sentences? So I'd prefer if you use complete sentences, but at the end of the day on the AP test, they're not going to do it. Complete sentences are just generally good practice for a science class. So yeah, try to answer incomplete sentences. But I won't count points off if you don't. And then I don't want you to evaluate G. So if any of your answers have G, like 9.8 meters per second squared, just leave G there. So any numbers that you plug in, go through, actually evaluate, get a decimal number, put that out front as a coefficient, and leave G as a variable. All right, so then we're going to write our name, and these are the values we're going to use for the test. So I'm going to do that right now for my name. So how many letters are in my first name? Well, my first name, Alex. So 1A is going to be, I have 4 letters in my name. So A equals 4. Yeah, short names are kind of nice. It depends. Some of them are easier, some might be harder. So B wants to know how many letters in my last name. So Beverly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So B is going to equal 5. Yeah, so first name 7. And I am actually going to check this, so don't try to just copy someone with the and then change your name to try to match theirs. And then last names, I mean, if you have like multiple last names or a hyphenated last name or something like that, I'll let you kind of make a judgment call on what you normally go by as your last name. If you have questions, you can just ask. Your first name is not kinematics. You could at least go with something like Galileo. Galilei, he made kinematics. C. So C wants to know how many consonants are in my entire name. So this is the question I was getting a lot. So we're just going to go by the convention Y is a vowel unless another vowel is in your name. In your name. So looking at this, I can't think of a name in this class that only has a Y, but last year I had a student named V. So for this, I would say this Y is a vowel. And then who else was asking? Then I had Lily asking. I'm going to say that because I have an I, I'm going to call this Y a consonant. Now, this is an English class, so we're just going to stick with this. I know there's probably some technical definitions and some English people out there that would disagree with me. That's fine. I'm just choosing it this way to try to be consistent. NG, then I guess 0. That makes it real easy. I don't think I saw anyone in here with a name that didn't have any vowels. All right, so see how many consonants are in my entire name. So my Alex Beverly, my entire name. I guess you could include your middle name if you want, but I'm not. So consonants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to count Y as a consonant because I have E here, so 6 consonants in my entire name. Because I have L, X, B, V, L, and I'm counting Y. And then D wants to know how many vowels are in my entire name. So I have 1, 2, 3 vowels. And I'm not counting Y. So anyone have a question about your name or what any of those values will be? What is my middle name? I actually kind of don't want to say it because then that might make it easier to track me down. Mr. Alex Mr. Beverly. Yeah, I feel like I've said it before. I just don't want to say it online. It does start with a J. So let's look at this. So no one has questions about one. Josh. Alex Julio Beverly. 2A. All right. Now, this is where we get to the part where I want you to circle the different scenarios. So let's pull this up really fast. So we have this, we have that spring hanging off to the side to the right. We want to determine experimentally spring constant K of the spring. We want to circle the scenario that applies. So I have 3 different scenarios here. One of those says I can't use a timer for my procedure. So I can't use anything that measures time. The middle one says I can't use the value G, so I can't use acceleration due to gravity. So I can't measure that, or I can't assume I know that. And then the last one says I can't use a ruler or a meter stick. That means I can't measure anything about distance or position, all right? So that's more what I'm getting at. You can't use anything to measure that, so you can't say I have a string of known length, so I can use that to measure the length. That's pretty much getting at the first one, I can't measure anything about time. The second one, I can't use acceleration due to gravity. And the third one, I can't measure distance. Is that clear what I'm saying for each of those? All right, so then I have these different situations. So it's either A is less than or equal to 4, or I have A is less than 7, or A is greater than 4, or A is greater than or equal to 7. All right, well, my name has 4 letters. A equals 4 for me. So which one is this? The first, second, or third? Yeah, it's the first one. It's less than or equal to 4. My A is equal to 4, so I'm going to circle this one. If your name has 7 letters, if A equals 7, which one would you choose? Yeah, so if A equals 7, we'll choose the third, right? I think everyone knows what less than or equal to is. So you'll circle that one, and then you'll answer the question based on that. The middle part is the pain. Yeah, some of these are a little bit more challenging than the others, but I don't think they're way more challenging. But yeah, each one has certain difficulties. All right, so questions on that one. Short name. It doesn't necessarily make it all easy. So yeah, you can't measure any distances. Yeah, so 7, less than 7. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, like greater than. So you can't measure any distances because your name is 7 letters. Yes. Is the spring in equilibrium or is it just oscillate? I don't know. All you have is a setup right here. All they did was they gave you a spring like this, and it's just sitting here, and then you have to come up with a procedure. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make the spring oscillate with a mass on it? Or are you going to just let the mass hang there at rest? That's up to you to decide what you're going to do with the masses and springs and anything like that. Just need kinematics. Yeah, please don't try kinematics. Any other questions on part A so far? All right, so the next one that is a little bit messy would be 2B. So 2B, the spring has an unstretched length L, but when a mass M is placed on the spring deforms to a new length of, we have this nice equation here, 1 plus 0.05b times L. All right, so I know B equals 5. So I know B equals 5, so I can put that in here. So I have 1 plus 0.05 times 5 times L. Well, 0.05 times 5 is 0.25. So I end up with 1.25 L. And so that's my answer. So I guess if you have B equals 5, I kind of gave you the answer, but I don't anticipate many people missing this one. Hopefully everyone just gets a free point for that one. If you have any questions about any of it or you're confused, I'll just straight up help you solve the ones that are confusing like that. So if it's one of the ones where you're just trying to like plug in a letter for that and you're confused by it, just ask me and I'll completely work you through that problem. In fact, I'll probably just stay on here after I stop recording and help you go through a few of those. All right? So that was for B1. And then I have for B3. B3, now I'm looking at D. So one is if D is less than 6, or one is if D is greater than or equal to 6. Well, for mine, D equals 3. So I'm going to circle the D as less than 6. So because that value is less than 6, I'm going to be using less than. So my new length is going to be less than the original length. So if I stretch my spring less than I did before, how will the period of oscillation change? Or if your name is D is 6 or more, then that length is going to be bigger. Determine the spring constant for the spring using the given values. Yeah, let me see real fast. Let me actually check my key for that question. Yeah, I made a whole spreadsheet that automatically solved a lot of these. That was fun. I'm not even kidding about that. I like spreadsheets. B2. I do some really fun things with Excel. I mean, I'm sure some people are way better than I am. But yeah, for B2, you can say we're on Earth. So B2, we are on Earth. Yeah, all of your video pictures, the thumbnails are created on Excel. It automatically exports something that goes into Mathematica, which automatically generates an image. That was fun to make. All right. And again, so some of these on here, they are the same for all of you. So there are some things that you could obviously cheat on. But again, your curve is based on the class average. So if you're one of the people who normally does well and you're trying to get a bigger curve, like a person who thinks you might get like an 80 something, but you want that to be a 90 something, you're going to be a lot better off if you don't spread your answers around. So you're better off not helping people cheat. If you really want a better curve, don't help people cheat. All right? It's easy as that. Now, This next one, let's go through 3. So we have a simple pendulum. Curve is going to be 1 point. I don't know. I think normally when I do that, the top people tend not to help other people cheat. So yeah. So if A is even, well, so A equals 4 for me. So A is even. A is even. So I'm going to look at points A and B. And then for those of you A is odd, you're going to use B and C. So for me, I don't know why I circled that. You would use B and C for odd. So for my free body diagrams over here, I would I have that blank space, so point A, and then here would be point B. Do we have TC? What do you mean? Like tension at point C? Oh, test corrections. No, this is just going to be curved. It's really been painful trying to grade everything online. It really complicates everything. So yeah, this is just going to be a curved test. All right, and then B, we have the height is equal to 0.5 times B, Y. All right, so for me, B equals 5. So I have 0.5 times 5y. So my height is going to be 2.5y. And that H might be hard to see on the picture, but yeah, this is the height from here above the lowest point. So this is height H. So at the highest point, I am 2.5y above the lowest point. Is this making sense or is this confusing? Yeah, I know it is written kind of confusing, but I was hoping it wasn't too confusing. All right, so then we have E. So E is talking about what I would change to change the frequency. So now this is talking about C. Well, I know C equals 6. So C equals 6. Which of those 4 options am I choosing? First, second, third, or fourth? Yeah, it's going to be the third, so I'm going to be looking at tripling. So C equals 6. That means C is going to be less than or equal to 8, but it's also going to be greater than or equal to 6. So this one I'm going to circle. So I end up with, so I need to triple the frequency. All right. This last one's going to be the hardest to grade. That's one thing that I was thinking about doing. It would be like a 3-dimensional matrix that I was kind of trying to do, but yeah, that would have been too painful. So I ended up going the easy route on how I created this answer. But yeah, so we have these two blocks. So we have these masses, we have the force, and we need to find each of those. So mass A is going to be A times M, mass B is going to be B times M, and that applied force is going to be C times F. So I need to use A, B, and C here. A equals 4, B equals 5, C equals 6. So mass A is going to be A times M, which is 4M. Mass B is B times M, so that's going to be 5M. And then force applied is going to be C times F, so that's going to be 6F. Can you stream the test? No. You can stream working out the parts I'm working out now. So then we'll go through, and these are the values we're going to be using to work through the rest of this problem. Yeah, and then the rest of this problem. Yeah, I was trying to think of how I could do this. I actually have a better system I thought of. Not that you're having any more actual like full-on tests after this. Yeah, decide your fate. The other one I have is like creating a randomized serial number and then using each of the numbers differently like this. I thought about making a spreadsheet where you type things in and it automatically generated things for you, but I figured that would lead to even more confusion, people trying to figure out how to use the spreadsheet correctly. I'm not really good at UI, like user interfaces, so it's more, everything I have is kind of like rigged together to work, and I'm like the only one who knows how to use it. All right, so here, now we're looking at D, so we're trying to look at our starting position for this. So if D is less than 5, we start at time t equals 0 at position positive A. For at between 5 and less than 8, at our starting position, we're at the equilibrium moving in the negative direction. Yeah, a lot of times I do warm-ups that are very similar to test questions. Imagine that. And then for D is greater than or equal to 8, then we start at negative A. And yeah, we're going back and forth between A and negative A. All right, so again, so we're looking at D. My value for D equals 3. So that's a pretty easy one because my D value is less than 3. So I'm starting, so at time equals 0 seconds, I'm starting at positive A. And I think that was the last randomized thing. All right, so any questions about any of these or your specific name before I end the stream? And before I end recording, I am going to hang around here to continue answering questions for a little while longer. All right, so hopefully that's not so bad. Yeah, it is listed as being due tomorrow night. One thing, the faster people get this turned in, the faster I can grade it, and you can actually look at your grade. So please try to contact as many people as you know and tell them to work on the test. So yeah, just try to get people to turn in the test. While you're talking to them, try to get them to turn in any late work. Any late work you have, even if it's not fully completed, like anything that's been posted, do that, get that turned in just so you can move on. So if you're turning in homeworks, even if it's not completely finished, you'll be okay. So as long as you're working along and I see you continuously like engaging and trying to do assignments, then you should be just fine. And yeah, this will get posted in a little while, probably 30 minutes on YouTube. So this will go up there. So yeah, just do your best, try to keep up. I know it's difficult having a lot of AP classes online. So if you're turning in your assignments, even if they're like not the greatest, I can work with that. So if you're turning in assignments and you're maybe not able to finish everything and you're just working on it, I can deal with that. Yeah, so just do what you can and you'll be okay. All right, so other than that, good luck, and I'll see you in class Friday or tutorials tomorrow.